You know, when news happens and you have to get the video out and you don't even get to make yourself look cute, you end up wearing the gym clothes. Hey everybody, I'm Jason O'Phil and welcome once again back to my channel. As always, here's all the information below for following on either the Instagram or the Twitter. And as always, if you have questions or comments, please do leave them down below. Two big announcements happened today in the early morning while Jason was trying to get rid of his COVID-15 and actually COVID-24. 6? It was a lot. And I just was like, oh, that's really interesting. And then I was like, oh, damn. Did Disney actually start digging the grave for theatrical releases? Much to discuss. First of all, let's break down the first announcement that came before Disney decided to, blow everything up. And that was that Warner Brothers has entered an exclusive deal with Regal Cinemas starting in 2022 to allow a 45-day theatrical window from release date to before moving a title onto HBO Max. That's a big deal in the sense that a lot of theaters have been so angry at Warner Brothers, and the creatives and the actors have all been piling on top of that studio for their day and date HBO Max offer. Now, here's the thing, what people don't really seem to remember is Warner Brothers, the studio, and AT&T, who owns Warner Brothers, the studio, are two separate things. As I talked about yesterday in my live video in regards to Zack Snyder's Justice League, AT&T is in the business of getting subscribers. They don't care about the, relationships with the creatives or the talent or anything that the studio has built over its decades-long endurance inside this industry. They just want subscribers and a subscriber base to compete with both Netflix and Disney+, which is why you saw the HBO Max deal even happen. And you saw such a vitriol reaction from Hollywood going, well, what? You never told us about this. Warner Brothers announces that, hey, theatrical is going to come back in 2022. We're going to get back into that. And then an hour later, Disney goes, hey, we are going to be releasing day and date on Disney Plus Premier Access Cruella. And we're going to actually move Black Widow to July 9th. And we're also going to release that day and date with Premier Access, which we said we wouldn't do, but we're going to do. And Pixar's next movie, Luca, will be available to all of you subscribers for free. And everybody went, what? And I have to say that I kind of had to chuckle a little bit and then go, yeah, this makes total sense. I don't know why anybody's really that surprised. So I want to break it down really quick on what I think is happening. But before we do, once again, comments, questions down below. And if you like anything on this channel, do subscribe and turn on those notification buttons. Okay. One of the most interesting things I think in that announcement is the fact that once again, Pixar, I feel, is getting the short end of this stick. They are not getting a Disney Plus Premier Access. They are going straight to Disney Plus for free. Now, I know Onward did that, but it had already been in theaters for 3 weeks before we were shut down and locked in our homes for an entire year, which most of us still are. And then you saw that with Soul, and now we see Luca. So I'm a little bit confused on how Pixar is suddenly the newest child of the family, and we're just going to hand me down the clothes and not spend any money on it other than to feed it. Whereas we're making sure Marvel is the first child that we have to spend all the money for and make sure they go to college. The Marvel thing is also interesting because I know a lot of people want to talk about the fact that Bob Chapek and Kevin Feige were very open about we still believe in the theatrical window for Black Widow, and now it's kind of happening, but not really happening. Yes, it is day and date with theaters, but let's actually read the fine print of this announcement. In truth, Black Widow is being released on Disney Plus as a Premier Access title. Why? Movie theaters are not where they need to be right now to justify a $250+ million film before P&A. This movie has been held for a year. We already all know about it. And Disney was already trying this experiment with both Mulan and Raya the Last Dragon. But here's the thing about those films. Neither title is strong enough to justify Disney's experiment in regards to Disney Plus Premier Access. Now, I do know Mulan made something I read about $90 million in its first 2 or 3 weeks of its Premier Access release. That's really not a global hit. We don't know what Raya's done. We know that it's been #1 for 3 weeks, but it's at $24 million in 3 weeks. That's not a lot of money, and Disney's about money. And we don't know how it's doing on Premier Access. They have said they're very happy with how it's doing, but I could say that. Like, that leaves no information. We really don't know what's going on there. If there was ever a title that would have proven the Disney Plus Premier Access experiment as a success, it was going to be Black Widow. It was the title that everybody wanted. It's the title that everybody was going to sit down and watch, the same way we all sat down and watched Zack Snyder's Justice League over the weekend. It is the title that was going to prove the experiment right. And it will be the title that proves the experiment right. Now, you have to think about it. I live in Los Angeles. A lot of these other people that do YouTube videos, they live in cities. You know, they live in Chicago. They live in New York. You know, they live in places. Some of them you even know where they live because you can see the skyline behind their videos. Ticket prices in those places are like close to $20. It's one of the reasons why I'm an AMC Stubs member, which should have reactivated soon because they're reopened. Because I hated the idea that when I went to AMC at Universal Studios to watch an IMAX movie, I was like, $26? With AMC Stubs, I can go see that $26 movie 3 times, 4 times in a month and not pay $26 each time because I'm paying $24.95 for AMC Stubs. I'm down for that. But I'm also single. And I don't have really any responsibilities other than the ones I have for myself and for the cats. If you look at the middle of America, or really America, most people have families. They have children. Children go see Disney movies. Families go see Disney movies. Yeah, us nerds go and see Disney movies because it's Marvel or Star Wars, but families predominantly make up a huge drive of the movie-going public outside of major cities because they always talk about how us single people are what are driving the movie tickets in those cities. So if you think about it in, I don't know, Portland, Ohio, Alabama, I don't know, wherever, a movie ticket's going to be like under $15. It's going to be like maybe $11. And a kid's ticket's going to be like maybe $8. And then you have to pay for concessions. And then you might have to pay for a babysitter. And then the child might act up in the movie. And then you have to leave the movie and you've already lost money on the concessions and you've lost money on the movie ticket because you have to now go home because the child's having a meltdown. And really, in reality, in 2021, after the last year, I would argue the majority of Americans or the majority of people in the world have had, money is tight. It is a thing that is very tight, like a vice. And the idea that I'm going to take my wife, my 3 children, we're going to go to the movie theater, we're going to get 2 adult tickets, 3 kids tickets, maybe we'll get lucky with the smallest one. We're going to have to buy popcorn for everybody, nachos, candy, soda, and spend $100 on concessions. When you're telling me for $30, I can watch this movie at home and order a Domino's pizza. Which one of these options do you think is going to win for the average American? Actually, for the average moviegoer, $30. Now, I don't think Disney has killed the theatrical distribution business, but I do think they've kind of started the grave. They've at least made the headstone. Because, as I said, the reality is, as money is so tight this year for so many of us because of the pandemic and because of how it affected our work, social lives, etc., people are not going to be in a hurry to go drop $100 plus to go see Raya and the Last Dragon. But if you tell me I can drop $30, watch this movie whenever I want, I can order a pizza, which I really don't need because, hello, COVID-26. I'm going to do that. Now, let's back up also into the theatrical. Now, we already know a lot of these theaters balked at the fact of what Disney wanted in their percentage points in regards to Raya and the Last Dragon. That's why you saw big theater chains like Cinemark not play Raya and the Last Dragon at all. You think they're actually going to say, we don't want Black Widow? It's a Marvel movie. It's like theater suicide. It's not going to happen. And I would guarantee you, Disney being Disney, they are going to tie Cruella and Black Widow together. You want Black Widow? You're going to have to play Cruella. You don't want to play Cruella? You're not going to get Black Widow. And theater chains are going to buckle because they're desperate for content. They're desperate for films. They're desperate for people to come back. And people will show up in the theaters to watch Black Widow. I don't know if they'll show up to watch Cruella, but I would guarantee they will show up to watch Black Widow. Will it be in the droves of how we experienced a movie such as Avengers Endgame? No. But theaters need all the money they can get, and they will kowtow to the concessions that Disney will demand on the percentage for Black Widow and Cruella because they want Black Widow even if they don't want Cruella. And we are seeing the shift in theater to streaming and watching films at home. Now, I know Disney has come out and said ChiChi and the Ten Rings will still be released in theaters, which is completely possible, but I also still don't know. I'm wondering if Kevin Feige will be a little bit more stringent on that movie has to go to the theater because essentially it is the first all Asian cast superhero film, especially in the Marvel universe. So I wonder if he'll be really pushing for that, because technically Black Widow is not the first superhero female film. We already got Wonder Woman. And also, we also have to look at the back ends for these people. So I know people will be like, well, Kevin Feige said that this would never happen. We were going to get the movie in the theater and not day and date. But here's the thing. Disney makes all the profit of that $30. It is nothing but pure profit every single time somebody buys Premier Access. A movie that goes into the theater right now, considering that not everybody's vaccinated, you have a lot of people that don't want to be vaccinated. I'm not looking forward to my second shot. Black Widow is not going to give back dividends to top line cast and to its producers and directors if it goes to the theater right now, because it's not going to make $1 billion in the theater. But you put a day and date on Disney Plus and you're making pure profit with that $30. People that rely on the back end of movies are going to be getting paid. And I would guarantee that's why a lot of them said, sure, put it on Disney Plus. We still going to be making our cash. Those are just some of my thoughts on what's really going on right now in regards to what we just saw with Disney and we just saw with Warner Brothers. Do I actually think the theatrical experience is dead? No, but I do think it's in danger. I think it's a lot like working out, okay? If you go to the gym 1 or 2 days and then that second day you're like, I don't look like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Oh, I'm never going to the gym again. Those of us that work or try to work hard at it are going to go, well, you have to go frequently and change your diet and do all of these things, and your body's going to get accustomed to it and it's going to start to change. You'll start to see it. And if you do something over and over again, it becomes part of your daily routine. I do think that is where we will have a little bit of a danger zone in regards to movie going. If people get into the routine of, I don't need to go to a theater to watch this movie, I could just stay at home and save more money, you might start to see only large event films. We're talking like an Avengers movie, a Star Wars film that maybe ties up an entire trilogy, stuff like that is going to be what people go see. Avatar, clearly Avatar, people will only go see in the theater with whatever James Cameron's doing. But for the most part, if you give people the option to watch something at home and they get to save money, because people like saving money just like they like getting money, I think you will start to see a shift and a change. You do something enough, it gets into your system, and then you kind of really don't know the difference when you're not doing it anymore. Same way if you go work out, okay? So is it possible that the theatrical model could be in danger? Yes. Will it be destroyed in the next 5 to 10 years? Most likely not. They've been just, discussing the demise of the theatrical experience since DVD started to become a huge thing. It's just not happening. But it's going to have a little bit of a bloodletting for a bit. And I would argue that's all because of Disney. All right. I am Jason O'Phil. Social is here. As always, if you like and enjoy these videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And I will see you guys next time.